Hello everybody, welcome to our Brain Kids group, and today I'm going to go through 3 steps: our Brain 1, our Brain 2, our Brain 3. And these are the steps of the our Brain method that I have discovered while working with my kid to help him speak different languages. And let's talk about myself a little bit. Who I am, my name is Lee, and actually I'm nobody. I'm just an ordinary mom who works with my kid in a language journey. It all started when my husband is an Englishman and I am from Vietnam. I'm a native Vietnamese speaker, and we all came to the conclusion that our kid will be able to speak 2 languages, English and Vietnamese. First, it sounds so easy, right? Then my husband had a very clever idea. Hey, Chinese looks so difficult with all the characters, it's so weird. So let's put that into our kid's brain when he's still young, so he's able to speak Chinese. And I somehow swallowed this idea. I think it's fantastic. So I learned Chinese to be able to teach him. So we got 3 languages at first. And the first 3.5 years when I worked with him, English, Vietnamese and Chinese, he could understand 3 languages, no problem. But the only language that he spoke back to us is English. That's it. He didn't like using Vietnamese or Chinese to speak. So I was stuck there for a while. Then when he was about 3-ish, he went to a class, an art class, and he got this very nice boy to play with. So they're like best buddies ever, and the boy spoke both English and Spanish, and he mixed 2 languages together. You know, they're young, so they mix things together. So my son, he couldn't understand, so he told me, let's learn Spanish, because I wanted to tell him, this is the toy I'm bringing to the class, we're gonna share, we're gonna play together, but at the end of the class, you need to give me back. How could I say it in Spanish? And he asked me for answer. How could I help him? I did try to use Google Translate, but it's a very long sentence, and I couldn't know how to pronounce the words correctly. So I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna try to learn Spanish, and I'm gonna teach you to somehow able to speak to your friend, okay? So I did. Much to my surprise, Spanish hit straight to my face with the very first knowledge about it. Every word, every noun has 2, one female and one is male. So I'm like, what on earth that people would give a word the sex of the word? So I'm like, no, I'm not able to learn the language and then teach you. What we're gonna do is that we learn together, and whatever you are able to get in your head and use it, so be it. I'm not learning the 4th language. So that's how it came to have this our brain method. I discover once we step over the word teach and learn a language, then everything is so easy. To this point, my son, who just turned 6, he's able to speak Spanish to Spanish people in a group of all the kids speaking Spanish and all the mothers speaking Spanish, and he's able to just join, speak to them, and have fun every week. So that's how I know when I stopped trying to learn a language to teach him, that's when everything is so easy and he's able to speak the language. So now we start again with Japanese. Is it another story? He wanted to go on Fuji Rim Airlines, the only airline on earth that painted each airplane one color. So beautiful. Pink airplane, blue airplane, green airplane, yellow airplane. And they even have gold airplane. They have Kitty, Hello Kitty airplane too. So like he himself discovered it. So he said, oh, I want to go on it. And his dad said, you learn some Japanese, then I'll take you. So that's how we started Japanese. And we have done it for, I say, 6 weeks. 6 weeks. And we are now at L-Brain 2 for Japanese. Okay, so I'm gonna go through all the steps, and I hope some of the information is useful. Now let's start to go through all the steps from L-Brain 1 to 2 to 3. And L-Brain 1 is input the sound and the language into the kid's brain. It's just like what we do with the first language. What are we using? We're using songs. So what I did was I chose some nice songs in that particular language, and what we're going to do, what we're doing right now is with Japanese. So we chose some songs and we dance together, we listen together, we sing together, and we do some exercise in the morning together. It's so easy and it works so well too. So then the second one is that we use apps. The apps I'm using is called eFlash app. I've been using this app for 100 years and it's free. When I turn the Wi-Fi off, I can use it for free without ads. So it provides words, vocabulary, plus pictures, plus sound of the language. So we use the app, we play it together, we listen to it. But listening to the apps and learning with apps is just a very basic step. Kids are able to remember all the words just with working with apps. So what I'm using is that I turn from the apps into games. So we could bring the apps out into the real life and play games. So what do I mean by doing that? For example, if we learn animals, what we're going to do is that we use our stuffed animals and we just put it on the floor, all the animals we have, and we listen to the app and it's gonna speak, right? It's gonna speak the name of the animal in Japanese. So we pick. I and him will compete. I and my son, we compete together and we listen, we pick the right one who's faster, who will have more animals at the end of the game, will win the game. So we play it with colors, with numbers, with animals, with things inside the room, with touch, and then we count. Who has more points will win the game. So that's that. Then the next one is books. Okay. So the question is, if you can't speak the language, how can we read books to our kid? Yeah, we can use app. Yes, again, app. We can use website. And the website that I discovered that let you read books. They read books for you though. In different languages, it's called Unite for Literacy. Check it out. It's really useful. So on the week that we work with Japanese, we could listen and read Japanese books by that website and on YouTube too. So that's what we're doing. And we maintain each language for 2 weeks. We don't do like morning English and then afternoon Chinese and then evening Japanese. We don't mix things like that. We do 2 weeks, 1 language. And then One of a very relaxing way for me is to let him watch cartoon on Netflix, on YouTube. I download it so it doesn't give a lot of ads. So Japanese, I'll let him watch Japanese cartoons. Chinese cartoons, 20 minutes a day, and it's perfect. Okay, this is one of the daily activities. I created it, I believe. So what do I mean from this? Every day when he gets up, if that week we practice Japanese, I would say hello in Japanese, like Ohayo gozaimasu. And then when he eats, I'll ask him, what is this in Japanese. And I'll check Google Translate, so he would say the name of the food in Japanese. And I did it the same with Spanish and with Chinese. And also when we put clothes away, we arrange clothes after I wash them. So we'll say, we learn long pants, shorts, socks, tops in the language that we're learning. And we cook together, and we use Google Translate to learn all the ingredients of the food we're cooking in the language that we're learning. So it's called daily activities. Oh, and we say good night, I love you in different languages, and I know exactly how to say it in 5 languages. It's like I love you, 我爱你, mẹ yêu con. What is it in Spanish? What is it in Spanish? I know it. Oh, te quiero. And then the one in Japanese is super long. Watashi wa shimasu. We did it every day. We do it every day, so I know how to do it. So this is just use Google Translate, and then you can go through with this. So that's how we can do at home without spending 1 penny to do the L-Brain 1. No tutor needed, no extra money needed to do L-Brain 1. It's just mom as a mother, and then with your kid, we just play and we just do together that language for 2 weeks, and then you change to the next one if you want to add different languages into his brain. So that's what I did. And now, this is the thing, L-Brain 2. Because I didn't know how to speak Spanish, so I really need somebody to talk to him. And I've been through a lot of different methods, and now I came to a very stable method. But let's go through together. And you know, native speakers are so important. They're the most important ingredient in a journey of learning a language, right? Without them, I know I myself, I learned the English language for 14 years. Can you believe it? And the first 10 years, I didn't meet one English speaking person. That's how it took me years to be able to speak a language. So I'm not going through that path again. So with the L-Brain 2, how we are able to get hold of native speakers. I use HelloTalk. HelloTalk is an app that you can use for free. So like I have English and then I want to learn Chinese. So I will find somebody that is a native Chinese speaker and wants to learn English. So we like exchange the language together. So HelloTalk, you can try that. But it's not designed for kids. Nobody is going to talk to my kid for 30 minutes, 1 hour, whenever I want. Their purpose is to learn another language. So when you try it, you know you have to spend time to talk to them in your language, to teach them. So this is not designed for kids, and I wasted a lot of time on it. I learned a lot of things from it when I learned Chinese. But when it came to Spanish, I didn't use it at all. So now, private tutors, I did go through like hunt for private tutor. So I got a Spanish mother who came to read books, to play with my kid, and I just met her in the library after being there for very long, and then watch out for anybody who speaks Spanish, and I came to them and I talked to them, oh, can you come over to read books to my kid in Spanish? So I got a Spanish mother, I got a Chinese teacher by going to a Chinese restaurant and somehow get contact to her and get her over to the same thing, play, read books in Chinese, talk to my kid in Chinese. And Vietnamese too is the same thing, but it's really, really good to have a real person to talk to. But because of the COVID, this gone out of the window. I miss them so much though. They're very good. But then again, once a week is not enough. Once a week to me is not enough. More than that, I couldn't afford. And then if they get into some personal thing or they're busy, then it's like 2 weeks to see them. You see, so when I found out this website is like a light bulb turning in my head, and I call it Online Tutors. And I found it on italki. You may or may not hear about it. Try it out. This website gives me the right to book any tutors in the price approach $5 to $10 an hour. Yeah, it's so affordable. And I can choose when I need it, what type of topic I want them to tell my kids. I can send them topics, can send them books, and they just use it as a material to talk to my kid the way I want. It's really, really perfect for me. So I use online tutors and italki to do it. And for now, I already use Japanese tutor to help my son in his Japanese learning journey. So that's why I said he's a very early stage for Brain 2. So that's that. And then online friends. I started to reach out to some Facebook groups and get in, the same family, they got the same idea. So we met up online just through Facebook Messenger and sometimes through Zoom. The 2 kids just able to speak together in different languages. And it's free and it's amazing. But one more thing I discovered, sometimes kids are not able to lead the conversation. So it's much better if somebody wants to learn Vietnamese, then I can talk to your kid in Vietnamese. Or if you want to practice Chinese, I can speak to your kids in Chinese. I can do that. Just speaking, I can do it. And then you speak back to my kid in Japanese or in Spanish. That could be great. So if somebody is watching this video, this is really what I'm looking for. Thank you so much. Okay, so once we lead our kid through Brain 1, Brain 2. Brain 2, I name it Speaking with Native Speakers in a Comfort Zone. A comfort zone is your home, right in your study room. So the kids could not be, oh, I'm afraid, I don't know the person, I'm shy, I couldn't speak. No, and especially when they're at the age from 0 to 7. They don't have that obstacle in their brain yet to say, oh, I don't think I can speak that language yet. As long as you go through Brain 1 and they have quite a lot of words of that language, and now you introduce somebody that will just speak that language only, they will be able to use whatever in their brain to speak and try to speak with that person. And the more they speak to native speakers, the more words they will get, And the style of using the words, how to put the words into sentences, that's very important. And native speakers are the only people can help to provide that type of environment. Nobody else can do. I know it. Like I said, I learned the first language, English, for 14 years. Can you believe it? And the first 10 years without native speakers. That's how I couldn't speak English for all those years. And then 4 years in university, I learned it as like main major. And when I met with these foreign professors, we didn't meet to have a conversation. We met to learn to pronounce the word properly for hours, or to check translation or whatever. So it's really not an environment that I could develop the skill of, listening, understand, process, and then speak out. I did it through different method though, not through school. Okay, so now airplane 3 is the real life. This and this are just the preparation, 3 steps. This is a real life, and this is what I wanted my kid to be able to do. When you go out, you see a person, speak that language, you're able to start a conversation, you speak, have some very small conversations, speak in real life with real people. And where can I find real people? It's easy, it's not that difficult. We went to stores, like we went to Vietnamese store, Chinese store, Bravo, Spanish store. So we went to stores to find native speakers to talk to them. Then we went to restaurants. Yeah, we do the same with them. We went to restaurants. So my kid, we took him to Chinese restaurant to talk to the owner, to sing some song, Kung Si Ni, to sing with the waiters and waitresses there, and to ask them where they're from, how they like the US, whatever, in Chinese. 你喜欢你喜欢美国吗？那么这是什么呢？你可以教我吗？ You see, we know some phrases, so we're just going there and speak to real people. After we go through airplane stage 1, airplane stage 2, it's very easy to go out and meet somebody and talk to them in their language. And the more we do that, the more he understands and he confirms that he can speak the language. So it's just like a natural thing. He see people, he came and he checks them out to see if they speak Chinese or Vietnamese, and then he just started the conversation. And that's really cool. Then we went to the park, and this is how I met Chini, our Spanish wonderful leader in our Spanish group. And we went to the park, just play, and then we always put the ears out, to check. And I told him, hey, look, I see that lady speaks Spanish. Why don't you go and say hello? Say hola. So he did. He went to say hola, and then he sang her some song. And then we discovered she's running Spanish club. And from that moment to now, every Saturday we go out to see and to join in our Spanish club. And it's one of the best days of the week. It's the best day of the week. We go out, we play, we have fun, we learn, we sing, listening to her telling stories, reading books. And it's really, really good. We met all the friends, all the mothers, and even grandma and grandpa. And they all speak Spanish to him, to my son. And his Spanish shot up to the sky. And till now, I'm not able to catch up. I have to ask them, hey, what did he just say? And they translate it back to me. That's really, really, really cool. So that's that. And libraries. We go to libraries almost every day, and we talk to people. And if we discover they speak other language, that is in the list of languages that we know, so we just speak to them. So these are the places that everybody can do. to practice languages, go out to the real world, meet real people, talk to them. And my husband is a traveler, so he did before, what's that? We went traveling every year. So we went to the UK to meet all our relatives, for Richard to listen to the English accent, to absorb the English accent. So that's the UK. So traveling is one of the methods that we learn languages. My mother and father are still in Vietnam, so we go to Vietnam every year. I noticed once you put a kid in like a very natural environment of the language is spoken, the kid's just able to absorb and speak so fast that language. So Vietnam is a place where we practice Vietnamese. And we did have 2 trips to Taiwan where we practice Chinese, Mandarin. And it was so nice, The first time he was just able to say, 叔叔好, means hello uncle when we get into a taxi in Taiwan. But now he's able to speak and run the whole conversation to his Chinese tutor for 1 hour without me interrupting. That's really cool. We went on cruise ships. And these cruise ships, we met so many people, and lots of them are able to speak Spanish. So we practice Spanish and Chinese there. A lot of Chinese people we met on cruise ships. So we practice Chinese and Spanish on cruise ship. And the cruise ship did take us to a very beautiful island of Mexico. So we went there to the market and we told the lady, my son's learning Spanish, so can you please just speak Spanish to him? Habla español? And she did. So she introduced, she's selling stuff. So she introduced everything in Spanish and talked to him in Spanish. And he was young, so he could understand me, but he couldn't speak back much. But that's when he was able to say, sí, oh, no. And then she could try to tell him the word and make him repeat the word. And we learned several words there when we're talking to her. So, in my opinion, at home, without any cost, we can import a language, the sound and a part of the language into the kid's brain to help the kid get used to the sound and know that, hey, this is not something new. You know about it. It's fun. So that's what we can do. Airplane 1 to Airplane 2. It costs money, but it's affordable. It's like $10 an hour, and it's your choice to ask them what you want them to talk about with your kid. And then if you don't want to pay, so try some free app, Hello Talk, and try to reach out some online friends. But in my opinion, it's not as efficient as I'm using iTalki. So it's up to you. So then, to go out to the real world, if you go to the park, you go to the stores. Going to the park, it doesn't cost any money to go to the park to meet people, to practice languages. So, by this method, I found out there are 3 things that I found out. 1, it doesn't cost that much to put a language brain into my kid's brain. 2, I don't really need to know about that language to be able to help him to have a brain that he can speak the language. My Spanish now is still knowing a lot of words, but not able to put everything together to speak Spanish yet, because it's a different job. Learning a language is a different job. Putting a language into your kid's brain is totally different job. So my main job is to help my kid learn that language, not learn, absorb the language and then able to speak the language. I'm not learning. I don't want to. I don't want to learn Japanese, but I'm able to help him to speak Japanese. That's the kick. And then the third one I discover, very important, try not to use the phrase teach and learn when we're doing this. Teach and learn. It will make the language journey much longer and much slower. I'm not teaching Spanish. I didn't know the language. I'm not asking him to learn it from books. All we did was just play. We were just playing, singing, dancing. We're not teaching. We're not learning. And that's how the magic occurred. That's how he's able to speak so fast, so comfortably. So those are the three things I discovered. And then to Vietnamese people, I know we always try to learn English, and I'm one of them, so I know. Don't try to teach the language. Don't try to learn it. And try to be able to get hold of some native speakers. Native speakers are so important in a language journey. So I hope that I can give out some very useful information. I'm not trying to persuade anybody to do the way I'm doing, because each family is different. It's just this journey I went through and I discovered with the Spanish language, and it's so effective, so efficient. I just want to talk and to share what I discovered, and I think it's going to help some people that are on the same journey like what I've been on and still on it. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much, everybody, and I hope we all have fun on our language journey. Having fun is the most important thing.